Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we're looking at this. This is the DEEPCOOL CF120 fans. So first to kick off, let's see what is the specs of these fans. So they run at a RPM of 500 to 1500. That's fairly standard these days. It has 56.5 CFM and they say it's 17.8 to 27 decibels. Now that number we can't really believe, that the 27 decibels, because this is when the fan is at its own, there's no obstruction, nothing, and most of the time when you hear a fan it's because of the air the fan is moving and it's hitting against something. Let's say you have a radiator for instance and the fan is right there and you move air and it hits the radiator, you hear that noise that the air makes hitting the radiator. And yeah, it's D-rgb as you might see from the box, and also you can use ASUS or a sync for this. You can use Gigabyte Fusion, MSI Mystic Light, and also ASRock Polychrome sync. So when you first open it, you get a little white box like this, and inside the white box is all the accessories you need. So let's take a look. The first one is for the RGB. Now you would use this if you use, you would always use this one. So this connects all your fans. As you can see there's 4 female connectors for the fans. There's 3 included in this pack, by the way, if I haven't mentioned that already. There's 3 included, but they add this extra one. So if you buy another pack of these fans, you can actually daisy chain them together. So yeah, that's a very nice feature. Next we have this cable, which uses solar power, and this is if you are not controlling your RGB lights with your motherboard. So yeah, there's just a little control with your effects and your colors and to cycle through them. I'm not exactly sure which button does what, but yeah, it's normally you just figure it out pressing them. This has 3 plugs for your 3 fans, so you wouldn't need the splitter for the RGB, so you just use this one if you're not using your motherboard. If you're using your onboard, your motherboard header, then you will not be using this. Put that aside. Next we have the 3-pin to the RGB header there, so you would use this extension in there. Let me just show you. So you would use this extension and plug this in here, like so, if you were using the 3-pin layout. Now this is D-rgb, so it's 3-pin, it's 5V, but I don't know if you can see here, but on this pin it only has 3 pins next to each other. There's no gap, and there is some boards that use it. I believe it's ASRock and I believe Gigabyte as well uses this. I might be wrong on that, but there is some motherboards that use this standard. And the next cable actually also ties into that. This is also for the RGB motherboard header, but as you can see here, this one is 2 pins, a blank pin that's filled in, and then another pin or a hole to plug in the headers. And most motherboards actually use this. I've seen this definitely on ASUS motherboards. I've seen this, and MSI motherboards I believe as well have this connector. So this is also 5V. You need to be very careful. Do not plug any 5V headers into a 12V header, or in 5V fans into a 12V header, because you will instantly fry all your LEDs, and yeah, there's nothing you can do. You can throw it away. The LEDs are fried. So I'll be very careful for that. But luckily this one, it has a little plug in the 3rd pin, so you can't actually plug this into a 4-pin. And 12V RGB is 4 pins, and they use all 4 pins, so you wouldn't be able to plug this in anyway. And then lastly, you have this splitter. Now this is a PWM splitter. I actually already have one of these. It's very nice and convenient. So you would plug this into your motherboard or any fan controller, and then you have this splits into 4. And so yeah, this you can plug 4 fans into this, and all of them are RGB controlled. I know actually some of the PWM splitters, only the first one will actually go to the PWM, the rest will just spin at a constant speed. But these I can confirm all of them actually spin at the same, so if you have a fan curve, if your temperatures are low, they'll all spin slowly or slower, depending on how you put it, slower on the same speed. And as the temperatures climb, your fans will climb depending on how you configured your fan curve. And then the last thing we have is just some screws for your fans. Now let's put that aside and look at the actual fans. So here are the fans. It is pretty standard 120mm fans. It's a plastic body. It's quite rigid. It has nice rubber padding, so that's a big plus. So that will help with a lot of vibrations. So if it's vibrating in your case for whatever reason, then yeah, it wouldn't go transfer that vibrations to your case. So that's very nice. And it has two cords over here. So the first one would be the PWM for the fan spinning, the speed of the spinning, and then also the RGB one. Now this is custom to DEEPCOOLs, so they have this plug, and if I can show you, you would use that splitter. Just get the splitter. Oh, here it is. You would use the splitter, and you would actually plug this just directly into the splitter like that, and then you'll just plug the other two fans in there as well. Now these bearings inside here is hydro bearings. Yeah, it's hydro bearings. So it's somewhere on the box here. It says hydro bearing. Oh, here it is. It says bearing type. It's a hydro bearing, yes, as I said. And what that means is there's actual fluid inside the bearing. So it's very quiet. If I spin this, you can barely get. I can actually just feel the air moving now. These fans, yeah, I really love these fans. And yeah, these are very quiet. The only downside is to having hydro bearing is over time that fluid does leak out. Not that it will literally run and drip out. In worst case scenario that will happen, but not in the first, I want to say, year, 2 years, 3 years, depending on how much you use it and the speeds it spins at, and also the orientation in the case. But yeah, that's the only thing. And with those hydro bearings, and sometimes dust can get in there and it can actually make the fan so it's a bit noisier and so on. But further than that, the only other thing I comment about being a negative point is if you put the fan down, you can see actually over there there's a slight cap right there. So if you put this flush against something like that, there's actually a gap there. Not from my hand, there's actually a gap if you put this on your case, a little gap. So I would imagine there is some pressure loss on the sides because of that gap, but other than that, I can't see anything wrong with these fans. They are D-rgb. They light up quite nicely in the middle, and yeah, these are my new upgrade fans, and I really believe these are the best fans. So I'll be installing this in my case now, and yeah, they are really quiet. Like, I really love these. I've heard Corsair fans in the past, like, I don't have any on hand, but I've heard some of those Corsair fans like in a store where they were on display, and I knew they were a new one because it was a brand new store, and yeah, they were quite noisy. They had like a whining sound to them. I don't know, maybe it was the orientation, because sometimes actually your fan orientation can also make your fan spin. Like, for instance, I know some fans don't like to be if they are placed like this, where the blades are spinning and pushing air up, and the actual blade is hanging, I want to say, from the bearing. Some fans are actually very noisy, and other fans are actually very noisy if you place them the other way around. So if they push air downwards, like this, I know then some of them are also very noisy. So yeah, the 3 fans, it's very nice fans. So yeah, I'll be installing them in my case right now. So yeah guys, I just finished installing 3 fans here at the top, as you can see here. I think you can actually see now what I meant at the beginning of the video when I said there was a slight gap over here. And yeah, they make really good light, as you can see there. At the moment they're controlled through my case actually, so I didn't need that one cable. This one, I actually didn't need this cable, which is this 3-pin one, because my case actually has a lead for the RGB that's built into the case that was at the back, and that actually had a plug like this that was synced to the case. So if I change the color over here, then you actually see it will change at the top as well on the fans because they're all linked now. Now this won't change because that is on my graphics card that runs from another program, so yeah, and it's controlled through software, not through hardware. So yeah, you can see there it cycles through, yeah, and I mean, like this, it really makes a lot of light, and yeah, I really like it. I really do like these fans. I'm not sure what speed they're running at now, but they are really quiet. You hear a bit of noise, but it's not from the fan itself, from the bearing spinning or the motor spinning or whining. It's more of a, like if you blow air like at your mouth, like it sounds more like that, like air moving. That's more the sound that it makes. So yeah, so these fans, these DEEPCOOL fans, I really like them. The CF120s. I don't think they make them in 140. I've never seen them in 140. 140 millimeter fans now. But yeah, I saw them on Amazon and on Newegg. They are fairly available on most of the places. Just one thing you have to know is there's actually two variants of these. I think the other ones are RF. Now those ones are not addressable RGB. They are 12 volts, so they can only display one color. I actually have one fan here. This one, the exact same fan. They look the same. Their body is the same. Their bearing is the same. Even the fan blades are the same. The only thing that's different is this one. This fan is 12 volt RGB, so it can only display a single color throughout its ring, and not, yeah, I don't know how many of these can display at one time, but yeah, so this is 12 volt, and these are 5 volt addressable RGBs. Yeah, just look out for that. And yeah, with that, thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. These are really the best fans. Leave a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already, like this video, and also find me on Twitter and Instagram, where I also post some sneak peeks of future videos. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and until next time.